We got here's a 1999 Honda Vamos van. Straight from Japan. This got here, I believe it was a week and a half ago or 2 weeks now. You guys are seeing it for the first time. There are other Honda Vamoses here in America. We're just kind of giving you an idea of what they are. This is a 660cc engine, non-turbo. They do sell this in the turbo model, but this happens to be the non-turbo one. What the cool part about this one is that it is a four-wheel drive model, meaning it's actually always has a four-wheel drive on. But these new Vamos are really cool compared to the old Acti vans, or in this case the street vans, just because they seem a little shorter, but they're definitely a lot boxier if you look at them, and they almost look like a full-size van, but it's pretty cool. So Savi just had this one brought over from Japan. We just picked it up at the port, and overall I think this is pretty rad van. I think they made major improvements compared to the last vans that they used to have. So again, the street models, and I'll show you why and a couple different things. But first, they added a hood. The old streets were flat in the front. This one has more of a pug nose, which it actually has a nose. And so this actually has a hood that you can physically pop, which is really cool. So if you come over here, pull this guy here, and then you come out here and you can pop it. And there's a hood prop. The Suzukis have it in the middle, which is interesting, but this one has it right here. So prop it up. Now you have all your goodies here. This one did come with upgraded horns, which is pretty cool. This is what they sound like. So it sounds like a full-size car horn. Very loud, I'm sorry. Hopefully you weren't wearing your headphones when you heard that. So you have stuff like your fuses and whatnot, and then you have your what's it called, washer fluid up here. What's really interesting about these Vamos that most people don't know yet, because there's just not very many of them, if you have one and you've seen them in the past, you'll know, but the battery is actually located down below the tank over here. So if you can kind of see that. So I found out about that because I was at the Jacksonville port picking up a car, and there was a dead Honda Acti that was just dead, and we couldn't find the battery anywhere. And then lo and behold, we found it. You basically have to remove this clip, and then this whole thing actually just kind of pulls up out of the way, and then you can get to the battery. It's still the same thing. It's the JDM batteries. They're super tiny. I mean, they have to be so they can fit over here. The model code on this one does happen to be, oh, here you go, HM2. It is a four-wheel drive model. This one happens to also be the 5-speed model, which is really cool too. They come in automatic, and that seems to be kind of the more common thing that you see when you're in Japan. When I've been looking through the auctions to get new ones, the automatics seem to be a lot more coming into the 99 models. And so having the 5-speed's pretty cool. The dash is completely different now, which is also kind of interesting, because before obviously you had more of a dash. This one's more of a flat dash, as opposed to like the shelf dash that you had before on the streets, or even the Acti vans. I will say, being 6 feet tall, this one has a lot more room than the last one. I think space-wise here. What's really cool is you can actually move the seat forward, and you can actually get very close. Why you would get this close, I don't know, but I'm sure it's because this probably turns into a bed. I haven't confirmed that, but maybe in this video I will. This one does happen to come with an ETC reader, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, and it also came with a Broadway type mirror, which is awesome. It came like that from Japan. Savi also upgraded all the interior lights to be LEDs, with the exception of this one. He's working on that. This was just a little harder because you got to get a pick to get at it. The mirrors, as you saw from one of my other videos, they finally upgraded them so you can see human size in here, not like tiny people size in here. This one still does not have a mirror. Probably wasn't optioned at all in general with it. Glove box is actually pretty nice and spacious. It did come with a bunch of service records, if I'm not mistaken, which that's really cool to see. I think this is really cool to see the Vamos with a small Enjoy mover. But you have the original owner's manual. I love the artwork in these owner's manuals, but this is pretty cool. And then they have random miscellaneous things from Japan. Then you have notes, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. No notes dictated on this. Let's see what else. And then that's Savi's registration. I think there's something else in here. Oh, a scraper from the port. And then I think this is from one of the, what's it called? One of the seats. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that comes with all this. Looks like you have a place to put your ETC card, is what I'm assuming this is for. And then it probably came with a pen. It's kind of unfortunate that this one didn't come with it. I'm sure that's like a thing that if somebody sees, they're like, oh, that's really cool. Let me take a pen. For what reason? No one really knows. But then you also have this space here, kind of like in the what's it called? In the Honda Z's where it's here, except the Honda Z has this thing that pops up. Vents all around, which is great, with the defog as well. The space inside of here is pretty awesome. It's pretty great. With the exception of one thing that I do miss about the old vans is the fact that this is a little pushed out further, so it's more of a flat door. They've made these a little beefier doors, so the plastics, you can tell how thick the door actually is versus how much the plastics come out. And I think they did that for a couple reasons. One, it was probably for the speakers. It actually does have a tweeter, which is kind of nuts to think that it has a tweeter. And then it has power windows. But what's very interesting is you can see that it still has the cutout for where the manual crank windows would be from Japan. So that's pretty cool. They did cover this in the original interior dressing that's on the seats and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Has up and down locks like a normal one would. And then it just has a ton of room here too. This one's not covered by the air conditioner like it would be in the old Acti vans or street vans. So it does give you room for activities here. I know that Rob, when he did his Honda Z, he had them put the amp and sub right there. So that may not be enough room for that, but it may be if you get a very, very compact one. Cup holders, this is a plus. This is really cool that they finally added the times and got some cup holders there. We have this little cubby it's actually very deep. See how deep my hand goes? It goes all the way there, and that's where my wrist is. I don't have enough light to show that. And then no cubby on this side, but it looks to be like that might be for a speaker of some sort, if it was for a speaker. Kind of curious to know when we ever take this apart. Same thing here on this side. You have a tweeter on that door. You have a cubby space for that, and then also for the speaker, which you can kind of see the speaker on there, and it's pretty cool. This one would probably have the cutout for the power windows, but it's taken away because you have the dual switches here as well as a way to close the door. That's pretty cool. I believe this model did come with a sunroof, and I believe the sunroof was further towards the back. Overall, pretty clean, pretty cool. If we go to the back, I think this is where you could probably find the flaws, if there are any flaws, and let me explain why. That's my backpack that I had, so you're gonna get a reference. The seats are very tight if you're an adult and you have an adult that's sitting in the front and they have their seat all the way back. I mean, this is pitched a little kind of aggressive in my opinion, but pitch that like that. But yeah, then your knees would be hitting. So one thing that's very interesting is this door is a lot, I guess you could say, thinner than the front doors. So you actually end up having more space back here for the passengers because the doors aren't protruding as far. What is cool is they did put more cup holders. So I think a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna say that's a cup holder. And let's look at the other side. And I'm gonna say that's a cup holder too. So plenty of space for cup holders. Something that was very interesting and cool that we found out when we were washing it was you have your pocket, but then you actually have like a secret compartment pocket that hides, you know, whatever you want in there with a zipper. First we thought it was like, oh, maybe that's a way to take out, you know, the seat cover or something, but it's not. You have a hook for your, like, your coat or bag for grocery shopping and whatnot. But yeah, I think this is where the flaw, if there are any flaws in the Actis, come in, is because the back isn't super huge like the regular street vans were or the Acti vans. So you take this down. What I do like about this is that it is locking, so it's no longer like that free floating seat like they did in some of the vans in Japan, which is kind of scary. Let me show you that. But here's where the flaw comes. In my opinion, the biggest flaw on these is this. On the old Actis, you used to be able to take the seats and kind of fold them underneath themselves. On this new not Acti, but on this new Vamos, you can't for some reason. For some reason, whoever did this, they designed it so that you could only lay them back like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a way to fully get them to go underneath. But from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like it. So in the old Acti or the street vans, you used to be able to dunk that, and then you would have the additional, what seems to be like a foot of space to be able to have activities, meaning you could lay something down flat and it would be completely flat. They have the straps here where now you would have to take them off with a 10 millimeter, or it looks to be like a 12 millimeter, to actually be able to take the seat holders off. But that's pretty cool that it stops it from, you know, rocking back and forth. In addition to that, they did add this cool thing, which I'll show you. Unlatch it here. This guy comes over here, you put it in here, and then what it does is it stops the seat from being able to get knocked back when you take off and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. But again, I think it's a flaw design. I wish Honda would have came back with the swoop under seats. I don't think there was a reason for them to take that away. I think they also could have added, like most other manufacturers, a tray under here, because you have a lot of room for activity. So I guess you would be able to put an amp or sub there. Subtle features like Easter eggs that they did on this was they did do this Vamos logo, which I thought was really cool. Again, the interior is really nice. This one, in my opinion, happens to be pretty clean as well. They do have this where you can open it and it actually has your jack. I would have to figure out how to open it, but it probably has a tool somewhere where you open this and this is where the jack would be. Again, same thing with like they did it in the streets, where it's probably the air conditioning unit or something's under here. Oh, but this is interesting. This one doesn't come off. So that's kind of wild. So if we look underneath, let's look and see what's under there. It looks like the gas tank is over on this side, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the gas tank. It seems like there should be room for something there, but there's not. It's kind of weird. So, yeah. So if you were hoping for the Vamos to be like the streets in that aspect, that it was cool to be able to fold the seats underneath them, sorry to disappoint. That is not the case. Let's move this. So you still have the standard carpet that you would remove to get to the engine. The engine is located here, so it's kind of, I guess you could say, more rear / mid engine, but it's more of a rear engine than anything else. But again, you would unbolt these 4 bolts, you'd get to it. Biggest difference is they don't have the batteries here anymore, which is kind of cool. I don't know where the AC unit is on this system, but it's kind of interesting how they decided to go with certain things on the Vamos versus the streets, how they redesigned it. What is a huge plus, now I sounded like Nick, but a huge plus is that this is considered a passenger vehicle, meaning when you import it from Japan, you don't get charged the 25%, you get charged 2.5% of it. So that means if you pay $10,000, you're only paying 2.5% of it, not 25% of that. And the reason being is because these bad boys, they put seatbelts on these, which is a really cool plus. It's really, really cool. But just to give you an idea, I'm 6 feet tall. Laying down, my head basically to here, I would not fit. There's probably another 1.5 to 2 feet that I overhang out of the back over here. Let's see if I do it sideways. I think I could, but my head's resting up against this. If I really needed to sleep, that would work. But the one thing I haven't tested, and we'll see if that's the case. Yeah, the one thing I have not tested is what Hondas are known to do and what Japanese manufacturers are known to do. And we'll do it right here in real time, just so you get an idea of where I'm going with this. Catch where I'm going with this yet? You'll know in just a second. Let's move my backpack yet again. This is probably why they had this feature with this. Because of this. Because you probably come over here. Let me set the phone down real quick. Because you come over here and you turn this into bed mode. Now that it's fully into bed mode, headrest came out, sorry Savi. Now you got yourself a bed. Now let's see, I'm 6 feet tall. If I lay down comfortably in this bed, maybe pitch this up a little bit. There we go. It's a sleep number bed. Take my shoes off. Yeah, actually, yeah, you totally could do this, in my opinion. I mean, I think it's weird because you go from like low back or low feet to a little bit higher to then another step up. But I can totally see you being able to do this. I think that's a big plus. I think that's maybe why they decided, maybe instead of making the seats go under, we make the seats fully laid down, so that if maybe they had the option of you getting a specific like mattress topper or something that you could fully lay down. But I'm 6 feet tall. My head is basically right on top of the headrest here, and my feet are right here. I still have room for activities. I think the only flaw would be the shifters right there and the e-brakes right here. But that's not bad. Now if I wanted to get up and get out, put my shoes back on, I could very easily. I believe the driver's side still does that, but let's confirm in real time. Doing this one-handed on the video. Oh, so you know what? They did keep the AC components. They just made them very much smaller than what they used to be. Let me set this down for a sec. Was gonna do one-handed, but no, I won't. But I figured out how to hold the phone. Yeah, so now you got a full bed. Pitch this up. I think you can fit 2 adults there comfortably, maybe a small child. But I think for it to work, I think it would have to have some sort of topper. Could you sleep in it like this? Like if I was taking a road trip and I needed just to sleep in here, just to make it work, I think you could. But I think realistically, I would probably want a mattress topper. And see, sometimes this is what this is for. So you get rid of your headrest. Yeah, that works. Now, here's a quick question. Not the quick question, but here's the real answer. If you're traveling with luggage back here, this is the size of a backpack. I think that's a 42 liter backpack. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off. I don't know. But that's just your standard backpack. If you had 4 of those, you could probably fit them across. If you had suitcases, you could probably fit 2. You could definitely stack, but if you're going to fall asleep in it, it definitely would be interesting. Now, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. So I take it back. I think it was kind of a flop, but I don't remember if the streets do the same thing if they do this fully back. I would have to go back and check a street out if they do that. The person to know would be Nick. What is cool about this is they did have the feature of having like a tonneau cover for the back where it would cover your luggage. So then this would be covered so that if somebody's looking from the outside in, they wouldn't be able to see it. What is cool is it did come with these factory tent windows that you can tell the difference from. But overall, I think the Vamos is a pretty cool van. I think I would daily drive it because of the fact that it's got so much space. Probably after this clip, what I'll do is I'll insert a clip of me driving it. But I never really did give you an idea of what the driver's seat looks like. So let's pull that back up. Ooh, I almost smacked myself in the face. No headrest on. Should do this without headrest. But this is the biggest thing in my opinion that's really cool. Besides the seat belts in the back, besides the fact that this goes into a full bed mode, I'm 6 feet tall, ton of leg space. I'm pitched back to where I'm comfortable. My complaint is the door. It's still a little bit wider, I think, than the Jimny, but clutch space is good. Shifting into gears without any issues. I like that it has a cigarette outlet, not that the other ones didn't. This one does come with AC. Biggest flaw in my opinion, single DIN. I don't know why Honda keeps doing this. For the Z, they at least did a double DIN. This one, they just have the single DIN. So, kind of is what it is, but I believe Savi's contemplating whether or not to put the cool single DIN radio that's touchscreen. It's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Does have rear fan, which is pretty cool. Again, ETC reader. This one did not come with the fog lights, which leads me to believe this might have been for the fog lights, or maybe this empty switch here might have been for the fog lights as well. This one happens to have, let's see, a little bit higher kilometers, which is 156,888,000 kilometers. I'll put the correct mileage here and how much that is in US miles. You got your standard lights, like all your doors are open, which is cool. Not all K cars have that, so it tells you when your doors are open. You have your brake and you have your seatbelt light. E-brake, I like that you still have a standard e-brake. Things about Hondas, I don't know if you can hear it, but quiets down when you put it in. All the pilot bearings or throwout bearings on Hondas make some sort of noise. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. Another plus is if you're interested in something with airbags, this one does come with dual airbags. So it's got an airbag here, airbag there. This is more like a pillow too. Again, Broadway mirror. I got a ton of space up top here. You know, I'm 6 feet tall. If I correct myself so I have straight posture, I have about another 6 inches here to clear. Buttons like defog or defrost. Hazards are there. Vents are here. I wish they would have made this smaller, put it down here, and put a double DIN right there, because that would have been perfect. I don't think we need this many, like this much of a gap for this, you know. But anyway, and then obviously that compartment cubby I was talking about, which is pretty spacious. But yeah, I could comfortably drive this probably for a long period of time. Looks like they might have done the same thing here, where they put the brake fluid reservoir there, which is pretty cool that they incorporated it to the top over here like this. And they actually didn't make some heinous looking cover for it. They made a cover that fits not easy, but nice. Oh, there we go. I was just doing it wrong. Nice and easy. Still, we got the vents. What else can I tell you about this? Again, it's 4-wheel drive. You do get a front hood. Savi did put LED running lights and headlights on this, which is huge. I believe he's still going to polish the lights. He has done pretty much all the maintenance except the timing belt. So it's got brand new tires because it needed new tires. The fronts were shot. So he got brand new tires, which happen to be, let's see if we find another tire that shows it a little bit better. These are 145 70/12s, which in my opinion you can still fit more. It does not pass the gap test, so if you wanted to slam this one and if you wanted to put something else on it, you definitely could. You can still see it's got the timing belt cover over here. It's still, I believe, the same engine that the most Hondas have. Let me show you under here. Very simple, nothing crazy rust-wise. I think if there's any rust, it'd be surface rust. Same place where you still fill your oil. Ah, that's what this is for, the famous Honda pull. And that's how you get to your oil. And then you can get to your oil right there. Doors slide. I think another kind of flaw design, let me close this, was Honda made these crank windows instead of power windows. And I believe they don't have the button that the other ones do to make it fully go down, but... No, go down, and then back down. Oh, they don't. It's a trick now. You don't need the button. So you have a full opening window. Okay, so the trick is, Savi just taught me this. We just had clean windows and I got them dirty now. So you go down, here click, go up, the click releases, and your window goes all the way down. That's pretty neat. But yeah, you got a huge, massive window. Arm grabs everywhere, except on the driver's side. It looks like you could have one there, but they don't. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Would you buy a Honda Vamos, or would you stick with the Honda Street? I think for comfort, for the fact that you get seatbelts in the back so I can fit my kids quote unquote legally or safely, for the fact that you have airbags, for the fact that you have more room driving wise. I'm 6 feet tall and I fit in there. I think the Vamos has my vote. And what's really cool is you could even get them with a rack, because it's got the roof rack gutter rail, which allows you to put a roof rack. I think the only flaw on this one will be the up top. It's got some sun fading, but let me tell you, that's more common than not in cars from Japan, that the sun fades them. That's a very easy fix in my opinion. This would be a great candidate for either a black wrap or a white wrap, of just basically wrapping the roof from this body line all the way back, and the thing would look like $1 million. Getting yourself a roof rack. This is inside a parking garage, so you get an idea. You would still be able to fit with a roof rack, because you would still have plenty of clearance space. You can get a full body roof rack too, which would have all the cool things. I think I've seen these too with the ladders that they can put, you know, on the doors back here. So you would put a ladder on the door back there. Overall, this is sweet. Savi, how much are you asking for this thing?
$7,500.
$7,500. $7,500 as it is, or best offer, or 75 firm?
We're flexible to a degree, but we put a ton of money into it since it got here.
Especially if he's gonna buff it, if he ends up buffing it, if he ends up putting in the radio, if he ends up going nuts with it, which I'm telling Savi he should, because it would be turnkey, but he doesn't want to spend too much money into it.
Spend a lot.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time and money into it.
A lot of time and money.
So $7,500 best offer. It does come with a US title from Virginia, so it's ready to go in that aspect. I mean, you can't really beat that. Sure, it's got a little bit of higher kilometers, got some sun fade, you know, flaw design too. I think this has had body work in the past. You can see that it's a different color silver, but I think you can match that and blend that with some decent body work, in the sense that you could just probably buff it out. Only other thing when we were at the car wash was that I saw a little bit of rust, not rot, just a little bit of rust there. And then same thing on this side, probably where it was, it got pummeled with some sort of something that gave it a little bit of rust here and there. But, excuse me, needless to say, it's not bad. Gas door still there, and the gas door's kind of funky shape in my opinion, and you can fill the gas there. So the right side is where you fill the gas on these. Yeah, overall, would I buy a Vamos if I wanted to daily drive a van? 100%. They do have this in the turbo model. I think they're later on in 2000. You can find a 99, but it's very rare. They usually have a ton of rust, and they're just not worth importing. I'll leave it a secret, but I have probably the exact same color coming and a really cool spec. Once I get photos of that one, I'll try and post it up so you guys can see. But yeah, give me your thoughts, give me your concerns. What do you think? Would you buy this? Me, I think I would. I've been looking for one. This is actually the second one that but I found, and I was like, Savi, you need to buy this, because I think somebody would buy this. First one went to Utah to We Win, so shout out to We Win. He got that one. I never even got to saw that one. So this one I got to see, I got to play with. And at the end of this video, I'll put some driving clips in there for you to see and whatnot. So yeah, until next time, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share it. I know a lot of people were asking me about this van, see if it was worth it. Is it worth it? 100%. Okay, we're gonna go for a drive. My first impressions. I actually haven't driven this one at all, have I?
Nope. That's what I said. Do you want to drive?
Heck yeah, I want to drive it. I think everybody wants to know how this thing drives. Savi, how tall are you?
6 feet.
6 feet. I'm 6 feet as well.
Yeah, I know, but the fact that seat moves so far back is amazing.
Look, it really is.
Look how much leg room you have.
I know.
Like, you're nowhere near the dash. I always see Way Before the Fame, and like all his videos are like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, guys, like, I wish we had more room. This one is like, okay, now I'm sitting straight up. My leg is down. I still have inches here. I have plenty of room. There's no window crank to be on your kneecap, which is awesome.
Something that's really cool too is on the streets and the Vamos, or not the Vamos, the streets or the Actis, that wheel well would be over here. I think it's a mix of both evils. What do you think?
It's a little easier here because you're not on the danger of your foot getting stuck on a gas pedal.
Yes.
Because
like,
that's the
what
thing
Savi's
with the
saying
truck.
is if you wedge your foot here and you get stuck here. This one, I feel like you can kind of rest it this way too. Yeah. If you get tired, you can easily just rest your foot to the right. But let's go turn on these lights. Take the e-brake down and we'll drive it for the first time. I think first impressions is it is a Honda, non-turbo Honda, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's just it's not, you're not winning races with this, but we'll take this on the highway so that you can kind of get a better feel for it. But it is zippy. When he picked it up from the port, you said, well, your brother drove it, right?
Yeah, he drove it, but he was very very adamant about the details.
Yeah. He said it wasn't very fast. So after Savi tinkered with it, he changed spark plugs, he changed the diff fluid, he changed the tranny fluid, and then what else did you do to it?
We found a vacuum
line that was leaking, so he cut that back and put it more forward so it doesn't leak anymore on the vacuum.
Front diff, rear diff, oil change, tires, spark plugs. It has coils are all tested good.
Yep, all coils are tested good. I mean, he hadn't swapped them, so they're driving great. No, I think this is great for what it is for a Honda. I think if you've ever driven a Honda Z, I think this is what I can equate it to. Except,
it's hard to see the Z's because the wheels that are on there are too heavy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but yes, that one being turbo, this one not. I think they're pretty close in power wise, though. Yeah. Considering.
Well, I think the Z, what I was trying to get at, has a little bit more power and pep because it's a turbo.
A turbo. Yeah.
But that's it. But yeah, the Rob Z definitely is not a good representation of it, but
I think this is faster at his current state at the moment.
Well, yeah, I think
because of the wheels.
Those wheels kind of definitely add. They hinder the speed. It's kind of like the Honda Acti. Right. When we had the 12-inch wheels on it, it zipped. As soon as we put the bigger wheels on it, it didn't want to go as fast. So let's see.
Yeah, this was nicer. Me with the camera. And we can get an overview.
Yeah, an overview.
Nice overview. I love how much room is in here, though. Like, yeah. Oh.
No, this is recording.
Okay, there we go.
We're gonna put this on a YouTube video. I got a phone call, so my video got interrupted. So it is raining today, but this is a plus because this is four-wheel drive, so we don't have to worry about the rain.
Nope. Brand new tires too.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
So that little rattle you're hearing is the stupid plate rubbing.
Oh yeah, the plate that rubs in the back over there. Yep. It's funny, you can hear the clutch going because of the. I think it's a cable.
I think it is too.
I think that's why we hear the rev, because it's a cable.
Because I don't recall seeing a pump.
Yeah.
A reservoir, you know?
Like a cylinder or master cylinder.
Yep.
But if you go up a little bit more towards the windshield, you'll see the revs are a little higher. I'm on third gear. And then it's not super fast, but keeping up with traffic. Let me see. We're on the highway. That's 90 kilometers. Still fourth gear. We're around 6,200, 6,500, 100 kilometers now. Now we're in fifth gear. Just cruising.
Straight as a bee.
Yeah, seriously. I was telling Savi, hey, do you want to get an alignment since I got an alignment on my car today? And he was like, no, this thing drives straight. And I agree. I think it drives great. We'll even do a right pass over here to get around these. And it does, like, it's not, you're not being thrown around, which is what I like. Like, it's pretty windy today, but we're not a sail right now, which is a plus. We'll see when we come up next to this tractor trailer to see what it does, if it throws us all over the place. I mean, it kind of is right now, but let's see. We're not going to be able to pass right now.
It's the wind. It's just
Yeah.
and it's roads, you know.
Yeah. The divots. But being behind a truck, you definitely can feel the difference. Like, kind of get thrown around. Savi put... No, you didn't put any wipers on this one, did you? I don't think it needs it.
They're great.
You do have 3 speeds on the wipers. Oh, it's raining, and you'll see it occasionally. Oh, it's raining a little harder. Let's push a little more. Ludicrous mode. But we're right next to that tractor trailer, doing a 110, passing with no issue. And that's foot to the floor now. We're doing a slight incline, if you can kind of tell. We're still holding like around 115?
115, yeah.
But on the downhill is where we gain the speed.
Oh no, she'll pick back up because it's leveling out.
Now we're leveling out. Passing. There we go. We've leveled out. I think comfortably 115, I think you could say.
Yeah, it keeps the RPMs good.
Yeah, it keeps the RPMs good. I am still foot to the floor, but there still is a slight incline here. 110. But I think that's kind of where you're gonna be. It's still a K car. It's non-turbocharged. It's naturally aspirated. I think for what you have here we go. This one starts to go down a little more. You start to see the speed pick up a little more. What's the fastest you got this to go?
132.
132.
Should do it. Oh, you just gotta have the room because should do it. It just takes a while.
Right. So we're gonna come back over here, turn around, and go in our disclosed location somewhere in Mexico for this speed run, and we'll be right back. Here we go. Hugging a Yui in a 4-wheel drive Vamos. You can definitely hear the 4-wheel drive kick in. 3rd gear. 4th gear. Biggest thing I want to know is that there's a fuel cutout. We're still in 4th, around 65. 6,500 RPM, 7,000. We're at 100 kilometers. 110. That's foot to the floor right now. Water's deflecting off the windshield.
She'll go. She'll go to the 130.
She'll go. Maybe right here. We'll start to hit it. There it goes. Almost there. 125. Light level.
There's a 130.
There it goes, 130. Let's see if we can get it past 130.
I think you'll top off the red line.
Yep. So fuel cut. Oh, it's not even a fuel cut.
It's red line.
It's a red line. Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
132. That's what I said. 132.
Yeah, 132. That's it. That's where you capped on a Vamos. That's still pretty fast though.
That's fun. That's awesome. That's
what's 130 is what?
80 something.
80 something, yeah. So
no, it's 80, right?
No, I think it's shy of 80 something.
No, it's 80 something.
Is it?
Yeah, high 80s. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, you know how you can combat this? The revs?
What's that?
Putting bigger tires and bigger rims on it.
Yes.
So if you wanted to go not be so high revved and be able to be driving, you just got to get bigger rims and tires, which I'm kind of curious to know if you put 15s, if you can hit
82.
62.
82.
What?
82.
Oh, 82 miles per hour is 132. So, I mean, you can get up to speed there. So, thank you guys for cutting us off.
For a K car, 82 is amazing.
82 is amazing, but it did red line.
Yeah, red line, yeah.
But I think you can get past that with bigger rims and tires.
Yes.
So,
yeah, 14s will do justice. Yes.
Note to self, if you put some 14s on this, you might be able to get it to go 140. One thing that I think is a little bit of a flaw, if there's a flaw, is the mirrors are not powered, but you know, that just means more things to brake. And then there's no up and down adjustment. They just have, it's, you know, the standard like big mirror, and then you just push it in and out, and that's it. Which is what I would call analog. It's a downshift. Nick loves it when we downshift on K cars. Going to third. Yeah. Overall, again, I think I would still pick a Vamos over a street. Would you?
I haven't driven a street. We'll find out in a couple weeks.
I guess that's true. Savi does not own a street yet, so we will find out. We will find out in a couple weeks and see if it's worth it. But overall, it's not bad. I guess comment below, which one would you pick? Would you pick the Vamos, knowing what it does, or would you pick a street, knowing what the street, what you know about the street? Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Savi, do you love it or hate it?
If I wanted a van, I think I'd hold on to it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it runs great. It runs great. I mean, the fact that you can fit a family in the back and you have trunk space is amazing to begin with.
Right.
Not fast, but, you know, you're not trying to go fast on the K car anyway.
Right.
So,
my opinion, I think I would pick this if it was a four-wheel drive, 5-speed turbo.
yeah,
I think that's
turbo,
turbo would make it all that much better in my opinion.
Yep.
I think I would want to put like a hot air intake, maybe a blow-off valve or something. But just having the fact that it's a turbo, I think, is what gives it the cool factor in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
we can always take it off of the Z.
Yeah, you could. You could just engine swap it. And ECU is probably already everything. I mean, I guess that's maybe what some people might do in the future is just, you know, Honda Z swap these because it's the same engine. So, yeah. Anyways, catch you guys on the next one. Last thing I wanted to add, no physical button for power locks, but the key, if you lock it, like most K cars, it will lock it. But this is your power lock key. And that unlocks all your all your doors, I should say. They probably did come with a fob, because most Hondas did. They had like the single clicker fob like Rob has for his Z. I wonder if you could order one of those fobs and put it in there.
Yeah, the problem would be the programming it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to remove a whole bunch of stuff to try.
Although it's a 99, so maybe it's just a programming where it's like you turn the key, there's like a sequence, like, you know, in some of the older cars.
Yeah, hit the brake 10 times, you know, ignition on,
Could
off.
be that. And then the last thing I forgot to mention, the giveaway is still going. If you're watching this, I probably will be posting the day of, because I don't have a video for today, and I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible. So I believe we're down to 189 slots, maybe even less. I'll put the correct amount on there. So if you haven't entered the giveaway, make sure you enter. You can pick from 6 different vehicles, or you can get a $3,500 cash out. Second prize winner is $500, or GoPro 360 with accessories. Third prize winners are a drift car, like an RC drift car. And then fourth prize winners is a glow plate. And then fifth prize winners is just a regular JDM plate. The glow plate is JDM. You'll get an LED backer and the button, everything to just plug and play to your car. So if you haven't entered already, make sure that you go and enter the giveaway. Again, if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, like, share, follow. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I do more up-to-date, updates with everything, and then show you other cool cars when I'm picking them out the port and whatnot. Because I'm usually pretty busy when I go to the port.
Yeah, we're very busy.
Yeah, so I'm usually not making a video. Nick's really good about making port videos, so you can catch those videos with him. But like I said, just follow along on Instagram. It's at Mendy Imports, and you can catch all the cool cars.
If you contact Mendy Imports or Dad Bod Garage for the Vamos, and you mention YouTube, that you saw it on YouTube, we will include one front non-glow plate.
Oh yeah, well there you go, that's a cool. So yes, shout out to Dad Bod. This is his inventory. If you want anything else, hit up Dad Bod Garage. If you have any tips or tricks or questions for him, he's a pretty good source. He's the one that did the Acti power windows and whatnot, so if you have any questions for him, yeah, and follow his Instagram at DadBodGarage203 and his YouTube video at DadBodGarage203. Till next time.